found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitches burning out. Lightning in a bottle. I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitches burning out.
Welcome in. It's First Choice Fantasy. We're back with our start sits for the 2021 NFL fantasy football season. Obviously, last year we had 2020 start sits. Week 1 was our biggest impressions YouTube video. So we want to kick it off with a little introduction as to who we are pretty much. First Choice Podcast is the overall brand. We got a betting, which is primarily just football betting. Then we have First Choice Fantasy, which is obviously fantasy football. We don't do anything else as far as like fantasy basketball, anything like that. It's not us. You're here for fantasy football. So yeah, we're going to give you advice as far as start sits. If you want to check out channels or Dynasty, we have Dynasty content as well. Should be a playlist on our channel. Subscribe while you're there. Click the bell to get notifications and whatnot. But for First Choice Fantasy, we got to start sits today. So I guess we can just hop into that if you guys want. You guys cool with that?
I want all the negative fan mail. It's possible.
Yes, the fan mail.
Alex has been waiting for this moment.
Absolutely, man. It's the best time of the year when everyone watches for the first 5 minutes of the dirt spell. Just go 10 minutes. Come on, bro, please. I'm asking you nicely. I haven't asked anyone something nicely in 3 years.
And take our advice. Or don't take our advice and just listen to
Do the
advice.
opposite and then come and tell me about it.
You gotta scout. Do your due diligence and scout podcasts. Especially ours, because we're First Choice Podcast. But scout ours, take notes, whatever you need to do, mental notes, it don't matter. And then next week, when you realize we hit literally every single player right, you're gonna think,
you were setting the bar way too high.
Fantasy's great.
Granted, you just screwed us. You just set the bar up here. You just screwed us. No,
I think the bar is accurate.
You should come to us because you know you're going to get very unbiased content. Now, with our first edition of Start Sits, we're rolling with quarterback Jalen Hurts because he's playing the fucking Falcons. The Falcons suck. Falcons suck at defense. If you hadn't realized it, realize it. They're trash. So, you know what? Start him. I know you paid for him because he's like the QB12 now, but you know what, man? Start him. It's going to be good. He's going to get a rushing touchdown. He's going to throw for a couple. It's going to be fine. Falcons defense is bad.
Now you're projecting his actual stats. I feel like that's setting the bar high.
Shut up, Brent. Tell me why I should start Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, because Odell Beckham Jr. will probably be at his peak at this moment because it's week 1 and he won't be injured. And it's against the Chiefs, who they're going to need to put up points. I feel like this matchup has been it's really been built I don't know. I see this matchup as being really good, high scoring points. And Travis Kelce earlier in the offseason said that the Browns were the team to beat or something like that, one of the best offenses. He said a quote about this team, nice. And I think it really, I think it put a spotlight on it. And I think that they're going to come out there wanting to prove themselves. And I think Baker Mayfield, along with my next dude, who I'll get to in a moment, will really have a great game.
I was going to bring it up real quick as you were talking about. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring, obviously. And the lines, the Vegas lines, FanDuel Sportsbook, has this as the highest scoring game over-under-wise. So, yeah, I guess Baker Mayfield's a decent play. Not too high on him, but another player I think is going to be a decent play is the quarterback who was the first overall draft pick in the NFL Draft 2021, Trevor Lawrence. He's playing against Houston, I think at Houston possibly. Houston is the underdog in their home stadium. I do think they can put up points, though, both teams. Decently high scoring. Obviously nothing Kansas City, Cleveland type, but I do think we talked about in the first choice phase as well, the impact that I said James Robinson has on Trevor Lawrence's comfortability, Laviska Shenault being naughty, and just overall.
You're using it. You got to use it full force, though.
Laviska, she naughty.
Okay, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna ball out, I think, especially since Trevor Lawrence is going to be a player that I don't think you're drafting to start him, but he's a borderline starter, and he will eventually be. It is the Texans. That's also another good point.
Lined up perfectly.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be a fine start. Nothing extraordinary, but week 1, first overall pick. I think we'll have a decent week.
Yeah. I think fantasy owners just gotta be a little cautious with Lawrence because like he is playing against probably, I think, projected to be the worst defense in the NFL. So if he balls out, don't go all wild and send like crazy trades to get him because it's such a bad defense. But it is a great confidence boost for him.
I would hope the number 1 overall pick isn't catching anyone by surprise.
On the contrary, though, if you're in a home league,
he's good.
If you're in a home league with a bunch of goofs and Trevor Lawrence has a solid week 1, maybe you ship him off. Maybe draft him so that you can. Yeah, this is a little late as far as drafting, but it is starting week 1.
Yeah, so the situation can be reversed. You can take advantage of those dudes really going all out for him, which that's up to you if you want to keep him or not. I think he'll be good, but who knows what type of value you can get out of him after he balls out week 1, which he will. 100% guaranteed. Stamp of approval from First Fantasy.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right backs. Quick hitters here. 1, Ronald Jones, Dallas. Bad at defense. That's common theme here when we talk about starters. Tampa Bay is going to be in control of this one at home. I don't care about the Super Bowl letdown. They're just going to be on cruise control. Jones is going to get a lot of carries, good offensive line, bad defense. He's going to score. My second one, call me crazy, man, but you don't got a lot of running backs. So if you find yourself in need of some running back help, Jerick McKinnon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, what's he doing? I don't know, man. He's got this weird ankle sprain thing. It's pretty vague. I don't know what's going on there. That's kind of scary. You might have more information by now, but like consider that this is like Thursday, the previous week. I don't know what's going on, but like even if Clyde's going to play, like is he going to play all the snaps? You already heard these two talk about how high scoring this game is. Like McKinnon could get in on that.
Really good point, actually. Yeah.
Clyde missing time. He's going to get some snaps.
All right.
Be solid. You need yourself a running back. Quick plug.
Since we're on the same game, the Browns versus the Chiefs, I'm going to go with my next pick. It's Kareem Hunt. He's the main pass catcher of the running back duo between him and Chubb. And this is going to be such a high scoring game that we established already. So I think Hunt will be utilized a lot, especially during the second half, just because I think the Browns will try and control the tempo of the game, because against the Chiefs, that's typically the game plan for the opposing team. Just control the tempo. They'll use Chubb most likely for the first half, which Chubb will have a great game. But my pick is Hunt, because I think second half he's going to really be utilized well. And my next pick is Raheem Mostert. My strategy for this season, if you can get Mostert for like pretty cheap in dynasty leagues, or even, I don't know about drafting him in redraft. I don't exactly know for sure where he's getting drafted. I feel like there's other dudes you could probably pick up. However, this is mainly in dynasty, just a tip. If you're in dynasty, maybe trade for Raheem Mostert. If you're low on running backs, and maybe you have a few bench running backs. Ed talked about Javonte Williams in our first choice favorites episode. If you have him and you're not so confident in starting him week 1, you don't know what you have, maybe go out and trade for Raheem Mostert, where not many people are thinking too highly of him because he's always injured in reality. But he's facing Detroit, and Detroit is another awful defense. And I think he'll be used mainly in the first half. And if he hits a boom play, one play and he could be already a week 1 starter, a valid week 1 starter. And I know Ed will get into his pick, but my opinion is that Mostert's going to have a boom play, at least one. I think he'll put up some points, definitely. but he won't be utilized the entire game because who's going to step in after they already blow up the freaking Detroit Lions?
Sure, this is how running backs work.
My favorite rookie running back, one of them, Trey Sermon. So this is my logic. Trey Sermon is my start for this game, this week. Trey Sermon's built like a tank, right? We talked about this before in the offseason, dynasty, yada, yada, yada. Raheem Mostert is one of those running backs that, like Brandon said, will have a boom play, likely, and he's used solely for, a boom play type of thing. He's not going to be used as a workhorse. He's going to get his carries and whatnot. He's not going to get more than, like, say, 12, 15 carries at most. Yeah. In this game, I don't know if he's going to be used crazily because I believe he was injured just a little bit ago, like a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that, where he tweaked his ankle, possibly. I don't know. It was something light, and he's very fragile. So I don't know if they're going to want to use him as much in a game where it's practically a given they're going to win. And the spread at the moment, there is the biggest spread of the entire week, 7.5. I think it's a given that they're going to run a lot, obviously, to control the clock. And Trey Sermon, I think, will get the bulk of the carries. I will say that because I think he can manage with the carries. Well, I don't know if they want to risk Raheem Mostert in week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Maybe they don't want to do the same with Trey Sermon. Maybe a third running back gets involved. But I would feel comfortable with Trey Sermon starting week 1 against Detroit, which might be a scary thing to say, especially as a rookie. He's probably going in like the 7th round or 8th round. I don't know if you want to start him as running back too. I feel comfortable with it week 1. So that's what I got to say.
I completely agree. I think both those dudes are definitely a valid start. 100%.
It's Detroit.
It is Detroit. Indeed.
It is Detroit.
What
about your next starter?
My second starter, it would have been, this actually wouldn't have been J.K. Dobbins, but J.K. Dobbins was a person I really liked, like a player I really liked, because his first 4 weeks in the schedule were chef's kiss. So as a derivative of him getting hurt, we got Gus Edwards starting. He's probably like a running back 3, getting drafted as running back 3-ish. Beautiful start against the Raiders, Monday Night Football. The team, I don't really got much to say about this besides the matchups. Beautiful. The fact that he doesn't really have much competition outside of Tyson Williams, whatever his name is, and then Lamar Jackson. Beautiful. Gus Edwards is ultra efficient, and it's Gus Edwards, so why not?
Absolutely.
Pretty safe.
I can take it.
Yeah, I like Gus Edwards a lot this season. I liked him before the Dobbins injury. Like him even more after.
I think he's a start. He's probably going too cheap right now, but
yeah.
Go to receiver. I'm going to go with kind of a, similar thought process to Raheem Mostert. Deebo Samuel, man, because he's healthy. It's Detroit. They're not going to play a lot of defense. They don't even have defensive backs. So if you can tell me they're starting quarterbacks, then you are a very smart person because I don't think many people can name this. But yeah, Deebo, like he's out there. He'll be good. He'll have a good week. I'm also going with, if you're a fan of daily fantasy, man, stack these 2 picks, man, Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, because they're going to be cheap as shit, and they're playing the Falcons' paper-thin defense, paper-thin secondary. Stack them. They're going to be solid. I know, man didn't really play in the preseason or in training camp. I don't care. He's coming out the gate as the one, and he's going to act like it. He's going to put some points on the board against the Falcons.
Makes sense. Does make sense.
So stack him and Hurts because they'll probably cost you like a solid $9,000 in like daily fantasy, and that's $9,000 combined, not like the $10,000 it'll take you to buy McCaffrey.
Yeah,
or like 12 or some shit. Yeah, solid combo.
I've got a pairing with Ed's quarterback pick and Lawrence. My man Laviska Shenault. I'm not going to use his nickname. We're being proper this episode. We're just being proper. He's playing against Houston. This is just there's not much I can say because Houston's is awful and it kind of speaks for itself. I mean, it could be anyone playing against Houston. Like I'd
Marvin
be willing
Jones.
to play him. Marvin Jones was another dude I was thinking about using instead of Laviska, just because I was thinking veteran presence. Maybe Lawrence feels more comfortable in his first week, first NFL start, But I like Laviska Shenault a lot, and I want to start off my year with actually two of my first choice favorites, because my next pick is Marquise Callaway. And Marquez Callaway. Callaway, I like Callaway a lot. I think that last season he was a rookie. He was on the bench, so he got a lot of reps with Jameis Winston, being that he was also on the bench. So, you know, second teamers play together, they train together, they probably build a rapport. And I really think Callaway has the talent to really pop off week one. With Michael Thomas not being around, I think this offense is going to run through Alvin Kamara, of course, but Jameis Winston is going to have his pass plays, and it's going to go to Callaway because no one else on that team I'd be willing to even roster. I mean, Adam Troutman's a good dude to roster. I don't know what his injury status is currently.
He's out, I think, first couple weeks.
Out first couple weeks, so they have no one.
Watched his ass get carted off the field, so I would assume he's not okay.
Traquan Smith, he's just there at this point. Like, he can do something, but he's not gonna be the dude that you're gonna pick up and really expect a lot out of. He's just a dude gonna fill the bench until maybe hypothetically you see it happen. But Callaway is that guy that's going to really pop off against this Green Bay Packers defense outside of Kamara. And I think this is actually going to end up being a pretty good game between 2020 MVP Aaron Rodgers and the Drew Brees-less Saints. So, yeah.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I'm
not hyped.
Not a big fan of that Jacksonville game that's happening. It's happening in Jacksonville, in case you didn't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do here? We got my wide receivers. The first one's going to be Jerry Jeudy starting against the Giants. Giants defense not that good. Jeudy has been a borderline. He's like a wide receiver 3-ish. I would assume he's going to draft it as. It's probably on that borderline. If you got to start him or Kenny Golladay in this matchup, it is Jerry Jeudy all day long. Yeah, easily. So it's pretty much all that I'm doing with him. It's not really a start him over some superstar or anything like that. I think I'll have a manageable week, serviceable week, and yeah. So I'm against the Giants. Second one is Adam Thielen against the Bengals. Does anybody here know what is up with Justin Jefferson? Is he still hurt? Is he planning on playing? I have no clue what his current status is.
I thought the thought was that he'd play because I thought the thought was that he was okay to play earlier. They just it's like practice and preseason. He's their best receiver, so
I have no clue. But
he was a full go at practice.
Gotcha. All right, so he will be there. All right, that's cool. Cincinnati's gonna be passing a lot, which is likely going to ramp up the scoring, I would assume, because I don't know if the Vikings defense is all that hot. The matchup's pretty beautiful for Adam Thielen, and one touchdown is all it takes, and that's what he does. So one touchdown, 20-yard touchdown, maybe another 20-yard catch, get you 10 points. Take Adam Thielen as your wide receiver 3 flex play type thing. Start him against the Bengals because why the hell not?
Yeah, I like it. Adam Thielen.
All right. Good tight ends now. On Jonnu Smith against the Dolphins because I know Jonnu's been hurt, but Hunter Henry's also been hurt. I'm pretty sure Jonnu's supposed to be playing. So if Henry's out, I feel like he's a must start because I think the offense is going to run through the tight ends a lot. You got Mack in there. He's going to be looking for his dude, and I'm just taking Jonnu. It's going to soak up some targets. I'd like to see I'm sure they'll get him involved. They paid him a lot.
Yeah. I've got Gerald Everett here. He's going against the Colts. I think the Seahawks have really been wanting to get a tight end involved. I mean, Disley, you've seen him. He was great. He was really good before his awful injury and then another injury. And I think that Gerald Everett has the ability to fill that role that they need. Because it's not like a featured part of the offense, but it's a part that it's utilized. It's used well. it's just that every time they get a guy, they always get hurt or they get some old. Who was it they had? They had Greg Olson, right? And he just, you can't be relying on. He's not going to fill that role. I think Gerald Everett, he's going to be. First week with this team, I think he's going to pop off and look pretty solid.
Alrighty, as far as my pick for tight ends, tight ends are pretty shallow. If I'm telling you to start George Kittle, that's a cop out, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with a deeper tight end who I think will have a serviceable week. Anthony Ferguson of the Titans against the Cardinals. It's going to be a high scoring game. It's the second highest line in week 1. You got Julio Jones, AJB on the outside, and Derrick Henry in the back. So all the focus is on those 3 weapons. Arizona's defense not that great. Ferguson in the middle for a touchdown, a couple yards. I'll take it.
Yeah, if we're allowed to cop out, I'd take Waller. Alex would take Kelsey, and Ed would take Kittle.
Take Kittle.
So
exactly. Start those people at all costs.
Yeah.
That you just
I would say all 3 of those guys for Gerald Everett, but that's just my confidence kicking in, It's just
he's about to put up like 1.2 points. You're going to be like, oh no.
All right, man.
Before we get into the sits, should we go down the list?
Yeah, I was just going to say, real quick, just rattle them off. QB1 this week. I'm going
QB1 is Kyler Murray.
Russell Wilson against Indiana.
Okay, running back. I got to go with my boy C-Mac. Coming back with a vengeance.
Brandon, bold. Go ahead.
James Robinson. I'm trying to be bold with these just because if you hit one, you look good. So James Robinson, it's possible.
Definitely possible. I don't know if it's plausible, but I got Dalvin as my running back 1 for week 1.
All right, wide receiver. I'm going D-Hop. Tennessee, not really great on defense last year. Looking for my man to come out strong.
I got Justin Jefferson. Just Ed's reasoning for Adam Thielen. Just copy and paste that right on over to Justin Jefferson against the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's get it.
Yeah. Alex, I like your the pick. I would have stacked him and Kyler Murray had I have, but I didn't because I went with Tyreek Hill, who's my wide receiver 1 for the entire season, but for week 1 especially with the highest scoring game in the week against Cleveland Browns.
Tight ends, we already said it. Kelsey, Waller, Kittle. We don't even.
Yeah, we literally.
It's not even acting like that needs to be.
That's our favorite tight ends. I love Waller. He loves Kittle. Ed loves Kittle. All right, let's get into some sits.
Sitting. All right, I'm gonna go against the grain here. Kirk Cousins at Cincinnati, their shitty defense. Hey, maybe not, man. I thought they tried pretty hard to add to their pass rush over the offseason. Will it work? Yeah, probably not. It's the Bengals, but at least they tried. I'm going to show up some confidence. Kirk Cousins hasn't practiced. He's been in a plexiglass chamber. He's having a hard time throwing the balls in there. He's a little rusty. And this pass rush is going to be getting to him, and he's going to be feeling it. He's going to be a little tired, a little out of shape. He's not going to have a good week. You heard it here.
I'm going to go with the other side of the field.
Hey,
Joe Burrow, he's going to be the first game back from his devastating injury. It's against the Vikings defense. This defense was really banged up last season, and they added some names. And I just think this is going to be just a bad mix of Joe Burrow coming back first game and a pretty solid defense. So he's going to be my sit of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to go
with a similar explanation.
Completely far away with Mr. Injury, Dak Prescott, both to his shoulder and his ankle against the best defense from 2020. They're getting wiped out. Not going to be many points scored, I would assume, from Dallas Cowboys, and Dak Prescott's hurt. So not good. Don't start him.
Scary.
I know you're taking him as a quarterback 1. Top 5 quarterback, you're probably taking him. Top 10. Top 5 is a little bold. They have him as 5th, though, but don't start in week 1. Simple as that. Boom.
It's scary. All right, man. Running backs. Going Myles Gaskin against the Patriots because, Patriots defense is going to be good again. I know their entire defense opted out last year, but, they're back and they added to it. And, they're going to be good. I don't think the Dolphins' offense could be rough coming out the gate. It's going to be rough week 1. And don't start Gaskin. I'm also sitting Denver running backs. I feel like Javonte is going to have his moments, and Melvin Gordon is going to be standing on the sideline upset watching. But they're both going to be having trouble with this New England, with this New York front, because New York's got a pretty damn good front seven. They lost some dudes, but they added blanking on the name. They lost Allen Tomlinson. That could hurt them. Whatever, man. They still have Williams. They still got their linebackers, and they're gonna cause some havoc for these Denver running backs, especially because Daniel Jones sucks, and they don't have to watch out for that. But I guess we'll get to that.
Yeah. I'm doing a similar approach. I'm going Buffalo running backs. I think this is going to be a common trend. I'm not going to use them every week, but this is going to be a pretty common trend. Who knows? Maybe Zach Moss is just fantastic, but Devin Singletary, I'm pretty confident in saying, no, he is not. Okay, but he's okay. But, sit them this week. They're going against the Steelers. Fantastic defense. Not really, you're going to play these two dudes in your flex, and you probably have other flex that you can plug and play. So don't play them. My next guy is someone you may have been hype about, Darrell Henderson. You probably, picked him up in Dynasty, or maybe you drafted him in redraft pretty high. But this is a poor week to start him. I feel like Chicago is going to have a decent day on defense. I think that the Rams will have their game through the air. So I think Darrell Henderson isn't really going to get his share this week.
All right. My sits, I initially went with Ronald Jones, but Alex gave a good point, and I think I tweaked on that pick. So not going with Ronald Jones. However, going to go with DeAndre Swift against 49ers. Who knows if he even plays, and if he does play, he's not going to get many touches. Probably draft him as a running back 2 or 3. You're going to have to take this week off with DeAndre Swift, so don't play him this week against the San Francisco 49ers. Second running back, David Montgomery, one of the roughest matchups, and Andy Dalton as your quarterback for the moment. And then you have a terrible offensive line. It's very bad for David. Yeah, it's not going to be the Houston Texans of week 15 last year, So don't play him this week.
Yeah, I like brief to the point. All right, receivers, I'm going Kenny Golladay as part of my train of hatred for this combo. But Denver's defense is about to be popping off, and Kenny Golladay is not going to be popping off week 1 because Daniel Jones is going to be lying on the ground. Second receiver, Darnell Mooney. I'm a big Mooney fan, but this ain't it, man. Andy Dalton, I don't know if he can throw a ball 40 yards, but if he can, I'm not trusting it to land at the right spot at the right time. And the Rams are obviously good defense. We've covered this. This ain't it.
Man,
not yet.
That defense is scary.
Not yet. Brandon, what you got?
This is a pairing with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Minnesota, same things apply. I just don't see this being a great day for the Bengals. It's going to be rough. And then I got Miami wide receivers. Like Alex said before, New England Patriots, their defense has done nothing but improve, getting guys back from being opted out and adding to it, especially with Fuller not being there, not training. I mean, that's irrelevant to this week, but it's going to be Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, and neither one of those dudes, or who else? What's that dude's name?
Albert Wilson.
Albert Wilson, and the other guy, Preston Williams. Yeah, I mean, solid guys I wouldn't mind having, but it's just not a good week to start them. So make sure they're on your bench.
Ed, who you got?
I have 2 players that are playing against each other this week. And the first is Mike Williams, Chargers. Washington football team's defense is legit. Don't know if Mike Williams is going to start off hot, and he is really boom bust. So I wouldn't expect a big boom against a great defense in Washington. Plus, he's probably a flex play at best. You're not depending on him. Depend on somebody else like Jerry Jeudy or somebody else like I don't know, somebody else, not Mike Williams, and somebody else also not Curtis Samuel, who's playing against the Chargers. Curtis Samuel has yet to practice for the past month or two, something like that. He has a groin injury or a hamstring. Don't know what it is. It's some injury that wouldn't trust, and Ron Rivera thinks he's going to play. So if he plays, don't be fooled into starting him. Just don't play him. Chargers defense is also legit. It's going to be an ugly game. Curtis Samuel's first game with the Washington football team. Little experience with them, so I wouldn't start him.
Yeah, this is week 1. Like, you're going into the week with a fresh team. Like, this isn't no week 12 where you're deciding between a bunch of hurt players. So why don't you make it easy on yourself and right now and just Curtis Samuels is injured. He's been injured, hasn't practiced. Leave him on your bench and play a dude who's been practicing, who is healthy, who you aren't concerned about leaving the game halfway through. Play those guys, not Curtis
And then
Samuel.
he'll get hurt anyway.
Yes,
Football sucks.
Probably. But Ed, I agree.
Thank you.
Now, tight ends, taking a very similar approach. Logan Thomas, sitting him. He ain't going to be no tight end 3 this year. I'm not buying it. Alex Smith isn't here anymore. Fits now. Just not into it. This Chargers got solid defense all around. I'm not really feeling anyone on this offense right now. I mean, Gibson and McLaurin are probably must starts, but so that Thomas ain't it. Not feeling it this year. No tight end 3 in his future, I fear.
I want to see a petty pick from Brandon real quick. Let's hear it.
Petty pick, it's reality pick. Noah Fant is a sit against the Giants. No explanation needed. No, he's a sit. The Giants aren't an awful defense against the tight end, and it's. I think your heyday is going to come from players like Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, and I don't see it coming from Noah Fant.
I'd say one thing. This just feels like you don't you can't find a player with a matchup that is subpar. So you're looking for a player that you just don't like, and you're gonna throw him under the bus for the second time in the past 2 hours.
I like it, Brandon. You're dedicated.
I'm going head first, and he's going head first under the bus tires. So
the bus tire. Chill. Alrighty. Well, I will accept it. I don't
use that phrase. I went with it.
Okay.
You just said bus.
Well, yeah. Rob Gronkowski is going to go under the bus, not with no fan by himself, actually. So Rob Gronkowski plays Thursday night. Yeah, facts. Thursday night. What's it called? Yeah, he plays Thursday night, right? So the Rob Gronkowski plays Thursday night against Cowboys. Cowboys are not going to be in it. There's not going to be many pass attempts from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like I'm talking like rap god speed right now. I apologize for all the listeners that don't understand what I'm saying. We also have us on 1.25x on Spotify and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, just don't start Rob Gronkowski. It's not going to be good for you. I'd assume if you're starting Rob Gronkowski, you probably don't care about advice. And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That is pretty much it.
I want to say one thing before we do get out of here.
Week 1 is here, boys. All right,
Week 1 is here.
I just had to say that.
We have a little giveaway I'm going to do here, right? So I bought a few boxes of sports cards, right? So people who are watching this will likely like sports cards, you would imagine, right? So got this bad boy right here. We're talking about the start of the week from me. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence right here. See his card. It's beauty. Nice and green. Just got this out the box. If you subscribe, if we get it up to 100 subscribers, this is going to be at least a couple hundred views, I would assume, on this video. If we get the channel up to 100 subscribers and you follow us over on social media, both First Choice Fantasy, Brandon's Twitter, my Twitter as well, and Alex's Twitter, it's going to be in the link tree in the description. Go do all those things. Comment when you're done. And
I'm not even on Twitter.
I will randomly choose one of you fooligans who decide to actually participate in this giveaway for this Green Prism Draft Picks Trevor Lawrence.
Waited too long, Ed. No one's listening.
That's the whole point.
Can
I do this?
Part of the point. You're only getting
you can do this. Everybody can do it.
I can't follow my own Twitter. I'll create a different Twitter. Oh,
Burner account.
okay, yeah. I'll
That
make
hates
myself,
on Noah Font.
make myself a burner account, make some hate tweets for Noah Font, and
I'm not going to pick you if that's the case. I'm going to look through people's Twitter. I'm going to say, yeah, this person is not getting it. But no, do that for sure. Yeah, follow us on Twitter, do all that. Do all the things I just listed. It'll tell you in the description as well what to do. And this will be yours, this beautiful bad boy.
I'll put that in a case, make sure it don't get bent up.
Oh, it's not getting bent up. Don't you worry. Well, Gucci,
All
isn't
right.
it? All right.
Like, comment,
That is
share, subscribe to get that damn card. And we're
facts.
out.
That was First Choice Fantasy. We appreciate y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Deuce.
Hello, Brian.
Later.